All right, a very warm welcome to the Orlando Stadium, and this, of course, is where the memorial service for Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela is taking place. Aldrin, I know that you've said a very good morning to viewers already. Took me a little bit of a while to get in here, I have to say.
Actually, tell me about that, because I was explaining earlier on that those who want to come to the stadium have been told that, listen, do not come here with your own car, go to the park and ride facility at F&B Stadium. How was it coming here this morning?
It wasn't easy, I have to tell you. It was a little bit difficult, but nonetheless, there is transport available if you park your car, and there are buses that are available to bring people here into the stadium. And I can tell you already, there are so many people that are making their way here to pay their last respects to Mum Winnie, and it is so heartwarming to see, Aldrin, especially here in the home of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, because this is where she lived, this is where she loved. She never left Soweto.
Interestingly so, and that's the reason why the family insisted that not only the memorial but also the funeral will be taking place here. And I was explaining earlier on that even when you stand outside of the stadium, you can see a house actually from here. So this place really means a lot for Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. I was actually listening to watching a documentary yesterday, and she was speaking about the 1976 uprising in Orlando West, and you can also see that street from Orlando Stadium.
Yeah, so I mean, the significance of Orlando Stadium, the significance of being here today and having the official government send-off for Winnie Madikizela-Mandela here today. So this is where we are standing on the field of Orlando Stadium, where there is a full program of events that we'll talk you through a little bit later on. We believe that the official program is about to start at about 11 o'clock. We had thought initially it would be at about 9 o'clock in the morning, but I think it's been moved to 11 o'clock, and that, of course, is when we can expect the proceedings to start. And as soon as we get the official program, we'll share that with you. But lots of dignitaries arriving, so many dignitaries here to pay their last respects. You know that yesterday was the official memorial for the ANC that was held in the Eastern Cape, but believe me, every ANC member is here to also be at the memorial service. 10 days of mourning in South Africa. We've got with us the Minister of Energy Affairs, and I'm sure speaking in more of his capacity than the Minister of Energy is Jeff Radebe, a friend, a comrade, and I think a very big admirer of Mum Winnie as well. So nice to see you, Minister, and welcome to the official send-off for Mum Winnie.
Thank you, Elaine, and all your viewers of Fair Morning Live. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and when you look at this weather, I don't know about you, but as I was making my way here, it was very reminiscent of the day that we also bid farewell to Tata Nelson Mandela. It was a very rainy, miserable day, and it seems to be the same. I think this is a blessing.
Yeah, it is indeed a blessing. As they say, the doors of heaven are opening for Mama Winnie to join other stalwarts and icons of our liberation struggle like Nelson Mandela, Joe Slovo, Chris Hani, and many other unsung heroes of the ANC and the liberation movement as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, when we look at the official proceedings that have been taking place over the last 10 days, these are days that have been dedicated to Mum Winnie, remembering her life, remembering what she has done for the liberation struggle, culminating here in Soweto, where this memorial service. Why Soweto? I mean, we, Aldrin and myself, have been speaking about it, but the significance of having it here at the Orlando Stadium.
You will recall that when she came here from Bongweni in the Transkal in the 50s, he has always stayed in Soweto, in spite of the fact that many other people moved into greener pastures. But she was one woman who decided that she must be with her people. That's why she remained here in Soweto. I think it's a reflection of how she wanted to live her life amongst the people of South Africa, the downtrodden masses of our people, because she has always been at the forefront to improve the quality of life of all of South Africa's people.
Yeah. She certainly was, and she was one of those people as well that always felt that she wanted to be with the people, stay with the people. And I mean, when you look outside now, I don't know if you did notice as you were making your way into the stadium, there are just so many people that are coming here already at the early hours of this morning, just wanting to pay their last respects and to be here. And that just shows you, and it's a testimony to how popular she was amongst the people.
Yes, indeed. She loved the people, and the people loved her back. That's why if you look at the outpouring of grief of this demise of this icon of our liberation struggle, the people also are saying that let's celebrate the life of Mama Winnie Mandela, so that we can always to demonstrate how to live the fullest of life in the Republic of South Africa.
Yeah. Minister, if you could take us back just a little bit to the day that she passed away. If information serves me correct, you were one of the people that were by her bedside just after she passed away. I can only imagine the feeling in that room. I can only imagine the feeling amongst the family and what it was like to be there. Perhaps you can just share a little bit with us.
Well, the mood was very devastating. When my wife and I arrived at the hospital shortly after she passed on, we met her bishop, Bishop Rivers, the family members, Zinzi, her daughters, and Zenani and Magaziwe, the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren. Also the national chairperson of the ANC, Gwere Mantashe, also came by there. It was one of the most devastating moments in my own personal life because I never expected that she was going to leave us so soon, even though she was sickly. But she was so vibrant, and also her radiant beauty deceived us into believing that she was not as sick as it eventually came to be. So it was a very sad moment indeed. I kissed her forward as my salute to this great woman of Africa.
Certainly, because I mean, if we look back at the visuals and the pictures of her during her church service that she was at just the day before, she looked absolutely fine. And I think that was just her. What you saw on the outside wasn't necessarily what she was feeling on the inside. And when we talk about somebody who's a pillar of strength and somebody that always stood up as a beacon of hope, no matter what she was going through on the inside, that very much so was what Mama Winnie was about.
Yes, indeed. At the memorial service in her own church in Meadowlands, here in Soweto, you could see from the priest to the ordinary people in the church the way they were describing how she loved her God, how she loved the church, how she loved the people and mentoring them. You can see that Mama Winnie Mandela was really a woman of the people.
Yeah. Just as we wrap up the interview, from the ANC's point of view, how do we keep this legacy alive? What are you going to do? I know that over the last 10 days, obviously, we haven't stopped talking about her, but it's going forward. It's the years ahead that matter. What are you going to do?
Well, as the ANC, as we always say, the spear has fallen. We have picked our responsibility and duty as members of the ANC is to pick up the spear that has fallen and to champion the cause that she lived for. Now that we are free from the shackles of apartheid, there's still a big struggle out there for employment, to get employment, to eradicate poverty and inequality. So the struggle for the economic emancipation of our people, for which she was speaking so loudly lately, is the struggle that you and I, ordinary members of the ANC, ordinary South Africans, we need to fight to ensure that a better life for the people of Africa and South Africa is attained.
Minister, thank you very, very much for joining us. Senior member of the ANC and our Minister in the Department of Energy Affairs. This is Jeff Radebe talking to us about the legacy of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. Just as Minister Radebe was speaking, I just felt that cloud opening up a little bit and this beautiful ray of sunlight coming through and shining on us. And if there was a sign, I think that was the sign as he described that legacy of Mama Winnie. Let's take a break from Orlando Stadium. It's a cloudy day, besides that little break that we had in those clouds for a little bit. Let's stay tuned. This is what we're doing this morning, dedicating the program to the life and times of Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela.